Morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. I know we skipped the middle of the week. We're getting closer to the weekend already. Huh? How about that? Welcome to today's Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream. I'm your host and pilot, as always, Uncle B. We are in the Ryan NYP. The NYP stands for New York to Paris, which is the plane. This is the plane that Charles Lindbergh flew across the Atlantic, solo flight. 33 some odd hours non-stop, all by himself in a plane that was basically a flying gas can, for lack of a better term, I suppose. So we're going to take it from Kingman, Arizona, and head over into San Bernardino, California. It says about a 2-hour flight. I'm guessing that's probably pretty close to real. Although we've had the weather turned off, so I don't think it'll be too bad. The only drawback being, as I said in the Discord the other day, if you read it, there's no radios and there's no navigation stuff. No nav radios at all. Apparently, back when Lindbergh did the flight, not even apparently, the reality is they were trying to save as much weight as possible, but all that weight went towards fuel. So the radios back then were not very reliable, so he didn't want one that he couldn't rely on to begin with. So he had no radios, only navigated by a compass, and I do believe he did celestial navigating. I think I kind of read up on the flight, but I didn't see anything that suggested that he used celestial navigating. But I think he probably did, would be my guess. We're gonna basically kind of dead reckon it. I have some sort of an idea of which way we need to head. We're gonna kind of dead reckon it, and we're gonna try to visualize where we are, kind of check against our chart here on skyvector.com. We do have the little VFR map. If we could pull that up if we need to. But we'll see. So there's going to be no radio chatter at all, which is going to be great. So then, we won't be talking over each other. So yeah. So we're almost at the end here. We got one more leg next week, and then our trip along, quote unquote, Route 66 will be done, and then we will go from there. So then that'll be it for Thursday. Next Thursday will be our last flight along this thing, and then I'll come up with something else. So, anyways, hopefully everybody's doing well. We'll wait a few more minutes, and I was gonna do a startup and taxi. The only problem is this plane does not have a little tail wheel. It has like a little metal skid on the tail for that. So because it didn't land on concrete, it landed on grass strips. So taxing it is a bit of a challenge. So we're just going to start right on runway 17, and we'll get in the air and make our way. I will adjust the time once we spawn in there at the runway, just so we have some nice sunrise light. So yeah. So there we go. I think I've got more than enough fuel. I did kind of fill it up. In theory, according to this line, I could take off from Kingman and make it all the way, in theory, to Honolulu. So, but I just wanted to be sure, because sometimes the fuel thing on this is a bit suspect. Now I did check the ad thing last week. I don't, or from Monday when we had like 20 minutes of ads at the beginning. So I don't know what happened. It seems like that's one of those things that that's a Twitch. I tried to check to make sure all my things were adjusted. That if you're coming in, you may watch a few minutes of ads, but it shouldn't be like 20 minutes of stuff unless there was just a hiccup in their system. So I tried to make sure that that wasn't anything that I had created or anything. So as far as I can tell, it was not. So now if I go here and I hit live time, okay. I feel like it's like it was way off. So, but we're gonna change it anyway. The weather should not have changed. Yeah. Okay. So we just have clear skies. So tomorrow we'll be back in the Twin Beach, South America. Heading from Guyana to Suriname. I think that's how it's pronounced. So we are going to basically go to the capital city of Suriname. But yeah, it should be a good flight. Nice and scenic. We'll be kind of along the coast, I believe, this time. Maybe a little bit inland, maybe a little bit on the coast. We'll see. Get some coffee in me to wake up and warm up. So, figured Addie's would be in the chat, but I think I know where he is. Jason's streaming SnowRunner. So he's probably watching that because he used to play SnowRunner. Let's see. What else? So yeah, next week we got some good flying planned, I think. I think Monday's flight in the Junkers 52 might be a bit long. Oh, speaking of which, the flight that I had to cancel yesterday, we're gonna do it this Saturday, same time. So yeah, I don't want to have to keep bumping stuff down, and I don't have anything really planned for Saturday. Um, so, and next week we'll have a double jetliner. Friday we're gonna do a jetliner flight from we're going from Malta to Tunisia, and then Saturday we're doing a flight from Dallas Fort Worth. The one from Malta to Tunisia will be in the A319, and the one on Saturday will be in the A321. If you want to fly either of those, or if you want to fly a 737, whatever you want to do, you're more than welcome to come in and hang out. We've got gate. Well, the one on Friday, I don't have gate assignments because it's not a real world airline thing, but I just want to. I was like, let's try to do something interesting, and we'll fly over some water for a bit, but yeah. I don't know what we'll do live weather, but I don't know what that's going to be like. All right, I think I'm just going to go ahead and spawn in because nobody's in the chat. And watch, as soon as I hit the fly button, that's when Joseph suddenly go like, "Good morning." Mm-hmm. Now the cool thing about this, there is some cool stuff, but we does have like a. See, I can't. No radio chatter. Look at that. Normally we're talking to the radio, right, or to the tower. No lights at all, other than there is like a. Ooh, wow, that's loud. lower that just a bit here. We do have some panel lights. And then this, they built this in. This is a little periscope that you can see out in front. But they said they built it, but they don't know if Lindbergh actually used that or if he just stuck his head out the side like, oops, like this to have a look. But he did have quite a large window here, probably for celestial navigating. So we don't use that. Let's get our time adjusted. So much, so we need the whole. All right, there we go. I think that's right. So this is our plane right here. Hey, look, Batman's in the sky. Uh-oh. We got the Batman, maybe. Alright, so basically what's going to happen is we're going to take off. We're going to have to hang a right turn on a heading of 237. So we're heading, looks like we're heading kind of southish, so we have to kind of turn to the right there to head towards San Bernardino. Let me add some. Trim. Just to try to get the plane climbing a little bit. Alright, so we've got a compass up here. Right there. There is a small compass. This compass was used for, it shows like the magnetic declination, I believe. And there's a whole chart here on the headings that he used to try to keep in line with where he was supposed to go and all that. So there's that. There is this other weird looking little compass here. I don't know. I kind of tinkered with it, but it doesn't seem like it really does anything. There's another compass up there. But he had plenty of compasses, I think even like probably a couple backups when he did this flight. So, alright, I think we can go ahead and get going. I don't expect this. Away we go. Got a nice long runway here to get our speed built up. And away we go. Oh boy, this thing really does not want to. Wow, this thing is really having a tough time climbing this morning. We gotta really turn here. Hello, Mela, how are you? Wow. Okay. It might be because I got all this fuel in the tanks there. Start the. I'm good, thanks. Sorry, I'm just trying to get. All right, had to get the timer started there. Try to at least give us an idea of our. We are on our way, essentially. Now, like I said, what we could do now, as we're climbing out of Kingman, headed to San Bernardino, we could do this. Let's just see how far off the map we are, or off the magenta line, so to speak. Not too far off. Okay, so we turned within a reasonable amount of time. Oh boy, this thing is really twitchy this morning. So there is a little level that they built in here so that he could kind of visualize his banking when he turned, and then to try to bring this back to basically level 0 there, so that he was kind of flying level if he couldn't see his wings, or see the horizon. You'd have an idea of his. So I think that should be good. Now we're kind of lined up here. Not too shabby to start off with. I like it. Now, I'm going to show you this chair. Now, this is probably digitally modeled after the one that he sat in. Now, imagine sitting in this thing, this little chair. Now, this was a Ricker chair, very little to no padding, for 33 hours. 33 hours in this chair. Couldn't stretch his legs. There was no way to get up. There's no autopilot. He sat there for 33 hours. Now, I don't know that I would be able to walk if I sat in this thing for 33 hours. By the time he got to Paris, I don't know if they had to, there is a little doorway here. This opens, and I'll show you when we get to San Bernardino. But yeah, I don't know if they had to help him out of the plane after sitting for so long. I mean, his legs had to have been numb, I would think. If not, I don't know what he did to keep that from happening, but man. Now, somebody replicated the flight. They actually sat in a Ricker chair. They did the flight in Microsoft Flight Simulator. They did it in 31 hours. They did it 2 hours quicker. But it took him 2 days, day, night, or however it was, across the Atlantic. But, oh. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, there's Joseph. Did Jason finally wrap up? Because I know that's where you probably were. I saw Jason live this morning. Oh, look at the mixture's already adjusted for us. Yeah, 33 hours in this little plane. It's all fuel. Basically, it's fuel in the front, there's fuel in the wings, and then there's fuel behind in other storage containers. But that's all it was. He refused. A lot of people wanted him to bring like letters across the Atlantic to Paris, kind of like a goodwill thing, and he said nope. The only thing he wanted to take was fuel and himself. That was it. The way that they designed this, there's no front window at all, as you can tell. They did put in this periscope, but like I said at the beginning, they don't know if he used it at all on the flight. If he used it for anything. Big window above. I think he used this for celestial navigating. There's a compass there. There's a compass there. There's this lensatic or some kind of a compass that right there, and another compass down here. This is the inductor compass. I think there's another compass down there. Something's down there. No, maybe not. Never mind. Yep, 33 hours. He sat in that chair. There's only two other pilots, and they were both people that he knew. One was a fellow. Both of them were Air Corps Reserve officers, but one was like a I forget what it was. But anyway, they only got to fly it for 10 minutes, but they are the only two other known pilots who have flown the original Spirit of St. Louis. Once he got done with I think they spent like a year just about going across the, doing like a show tour and all that. He flew it to Washington, D.C. It's been in the Smithsonian ever since. So the one, if you go there to the Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C., this is the original Spirit of St. Louis is sitting there. And it's been there ever since he did his tour around wherever to showcase his flight across the Atlantic, the first solo flight. Wasn't the first flight across the Atlantic, he was the first solo flight. There are replicas that have been built. One person built a flying replica and replicated the flight, I think. And there's a documentary that's supposed to come out sometime this year about the whole thing. That they went back and measured all the measurements. They looked at all the plans and everything. Tried to replicate it as to real as life as possible. So yeah, pretty cool history here. I don't want to get too far off of 237 because otherwise we're going to be zigzagging, and so it may take longer than an hour 54 because we've been kind of cruising at 66 knots here. Well, I could add a little bit of throttle there. That's probably why I didn't go full throttle. The outside of the plane? Oh, I don't know, Joseph. But since you said please, there you go. This is the outside of the plane. I thought I adjusted the time enough. Ooh, oh, hold on a second. Let me make sure we're not turning too far one way. You're like one of them kids in Joe's stream. Can I see the outside of the train? You've seen this before? No, I haven't. No, I know, Joseph. You haven't. This was part of the 40th anniversary edition that came out last year. It's a free plane. First time we're flying it here on the stream. So yeah, I figured we'd try something we haven't used before. Yeah, the tricky part is going to be that we're trying to I'm trying to keep this on a certain course for San Bernardino, but also keep an eye on the chat. So there's no autopilot. It's not like I can flick a switch and this plane will basically fly itself to San Bernardino. So I do need to get a picture though. Try to do that real quick here. I was telling Paulson, you were there, Joseph. I tell you what, half of them fools in Joe's stream the other day, I would just straight up block them in. They came into my chat acting like the way they act in his. I got no time for that silliness. All right, there's our picture of the flight. Ooh, boy, we are turning excessively. What just happened? Wow. I don't know if there was like a wind or if I hit the turn. From New York to Paris. Although it wasn't from like JFK, there was like a field on Long Island that he took off from and then went to Paris. Trust you what? Trust you with what, Joseph? Trust you how? In what way are you talking about trust? Oh yeah, well it was all fuel, Mella. There was fuel in on the other side of this wall, so it was fuel and then oil. There's fuel in the wings, and then there was fuel in these tanks behind. I think there was probably more, but I don't know if it was a modeling thing, but that is a fuel tank there in the tail. So it was basically a flying gas can. So, oh yeah, yeah, Joe's got way more patience than I would have, because I can't stay in his chat for too long because it's Idiotville. I'm sorry, but it's the what route are we on? It says Brighton Mainland right in the frickin' title. Like seriously, like I could understand maybe if it's like a language thing. But it's, I don't know. Sometimes I think people ask just to be foolish, you know. It says right there in the title. No, no, it's not. It was because there's no. The only thing that he had that they created, and he had a hand in this. Somebody who was in the submarine service helped design this little periscope here. I don't know how. Basically that's all you can see right there. A little window, so he'd have to really lean forward to be able to look out that to see anything in that periscope if he could at all. And then otherwise he probably had his head stuck out one of the windows. They modeled it that you can look out this one here, kinda. Yeah, all he had was his compasses. He probably had a. Well, hey, Sergeant Staff seems counterproductive. Well, the thinking was, because when I was reading about this plane, the thinking was that at least he could look through this and probably judge if there was like ship mass or anything where he was low level flying, that if there was anything that he could see through this that he might hit, that he would have time to respond and deal with. But yeah, look at this. I filled it up and we are just sipping gas so far, but we still got quite a ways to go. We've been in the air roughly 16 minutes, so we still got the only IFR plane. Yeah. So we're chugging away towards San Bernardino. Try to fly outside a little bit, but this thing turns pretty much on its own, it seems. Very hard to get it to kind of just fly straight and level, but I don't know if that's because the wind or if there's something else happening. But yeah, like somebody I think somebody in Scruffy Stream suggested that somebody could have flown this on the Cannonball run. Not that it was fast, but see, it would have been against the rules though, because you had to make so many stops and you had to do some touch and goes, I think, along the way. So it wouldn't have been very practical. Hey, Infidel Farman, how are you? Nice to see you. So it looks like there's some ads running. Hopefully not 20 minutes worth of ads. I apologize. I did check, like I said, and I don't know what happened on Monday that caused all that. Yeah, safe. That's right. But I'm surprised nobody tried it in this plane. But I think it would have been kind of a lost cause, really. Trying to get this thing to stop climbing. Yeah, quite a bit of flying today. So we'll get on the ground. We'll end the stream there. Once we get to San Bernardino, we'll be back tomorrow in the Twin Beach down in South America. usual time. And then Saturday we'll make up the Wednesday flight on Saturday. That won't, should do a cross-country steerman trip. Well, I think if we do, once we complete the Junkers trip, I could do a steerman flight, but maybe somewhere else. The only problem is, like, I was thinking about Africa. The problem being that there's not a lot of, sometimes trying to find like airports to jump to, you know, so it's not like a super long flight. I don't know. Yeah, it is. I'm just trying to figure out like a reasonable plane that could do it. I mean, I could probably do it in Stearman. But see, that may take the place of the Route 66 stuff. I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough call. Because I got the Twin Beach in South America. I don't know. Because I'm also trying to make it where wherever I fly, that it's counting towards, you know, like landing in different, you know, like on FS Hub, you got all those different countries. All right, take care, Sergeant Staff. Nice to see you. Scoobs, how are you? Thank you for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. My name is Uncle B. I'm your host and pilot. We are in the Ryan NYP. We took off from Kingman, Arizona. We're heading to San Bernardino, California, on leg 13 of the Route 66 tour. Welcome, Raiders. Nice to see you all here. It said 40. It says 17. I don't know, maybe you had like a bunch of people drop out at the last minute, Scoops. They're like, oh, this guy, nah, he's not my cup of tea this Thursday morning or afternoon or evening, whichever the part of the world they're in. That's okay. Glad to see you all here. No worries at all. Happy to see you all here. So yeah, we're just cruising along here, headed towards San Bernardino in the spirit of St. Louis. We are 22 minutes out of Kingman. Just plugging along here. Trying to keep it going in the right direction. So, thank you for the raid. Greatly appreciate that. Nice to see you here. Hopefully everybody's doing well the day before Friday. Could do a Junkers 52 flight around Africa, I suppose. I'm trying to do some bush. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's going pretty well. It's just trying to keep it going the right direction because this thing definitely wants to turn, and I'm trying to. We're at 8,000 feet. I've been climbing this entire time and trying to get it to kind of level off here is a bit of a challenge, but Could take the Beaver and do some bush flying or something. Maybe kind of break things up. Maybe do some bush flying in the Kodiak. It doesn't seem like it takes much to get this thing turning. It's very finicky, very, doesn't take much to get it there. Trying to keep this bubble right there in the middle. I kind of think the wind might have other plans. Alright, let's have a look here at our chart. Be able to zoom in. Airport, can I go over that? There. Okay, so I know where we are. We're near Bullhead City Airport, right there. All right. Ta-da! Look at that. All right, so we still got a long way to go. Long way. I don't know what his average altitude was on the flight. He didn't have oxygen. He couldn't go too high. I don't know what his cruising altitude was. Sorry, just kind of having a bit of my coffee here. One of the things I did read about the other night about this plane and Charles Lindbergh, the idea about not having a window for him to look out front through, he said that he was okay with that because he was a airmail pilot and he always flew in the back seat and the mail was in the front seat, so he was used to not being able to see too far in front of him. he did get used to this notion of looking out the side of the aircraft when he was flying. So that part of that design was on purpose, based on his preference of flying. Oh, Chuck Lee, thank you for the follow. Chuck Lee. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I'm still waking up, kinda. But thank you for the follow. Greatly appreciate that. Welcome to the BC channel. So Twin Beach tomorrow, back in the Euchres Saturday to make up for Wednesday, and then we'll be back at it next week. Flying to San Bernardino, on FS Hub, there's this multi-leg tour of Route 66. I know Viper Strike has done it, although his flight along Route 66 was probably way more informative than mine has been. But he did he's already completed it. There was a couple of streams, I think he did multiple legs. But we're flying to San Bernardino International in this. No radio, so that's the great thing. You don't hear that radio chatter in the background or anything. I feel like my fuel gauge is stuck at 77%. It has not gone. I think we got it's gone down a little bit, but nothing significant. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So next week, I think next week I'm going to try the last leg into in the Jenny. Which was another plane that Charles Lindbergh had flown in before. I think he flew that before. He flew that for like airmail and a bunch of other stuff, but that was his. He bought that for like $500. So it was a plane that he flew in before he did this across the Atlantic solo flight. So I think we'll end the trip in the Jenny. I don't think it's going to take very long to get to our final destination. Should be a very far trip, so very far flight. Hey, Planet Neutral, how are you? Yeah, Scoop's raided a little while ago. So nice to see you, Planet Neutral. Hopefully you're well. Crowd here today. Unexpected for a Thursday. I didn't expect this at all. That's okay. That's the best surprise ever, is when something happens and you didn't expect it, but it's a positive happen. I like to go to DC, to the Air and Space Museum, and actually see. Not that you can actually look in there because it's hanging from the ceiling, I believe, but I'd like to go see this in person. I do want to go to the Air and Space Museum. That's always been one of my the places I would absolutely love to go see. Yeah, it is. I mean, to think it wasn't, well, it's been a century. It's been, yeah, it's been 100 years or more since he did the transatlantic flight. That was in 1928. So no, it'll be in 5 years will be the 100th anniversary. Boy, that's going to be amazing. Yeah, I can't believe it would have been 100 years. And this was considered pretty technologically advanced for what they did. And he did it without any radios. He just had numerous compasses. I'm pretty sure, I look, but I'm almost positive that he did use celestial navigating across the Atlantic just to verify. Oh, that's the other thing too. He did have charts, but apparently in order to save weight, he cut off all the unnecessary parts of the charts to try to save weight. But yeah, there was when I read about the flight the other night, just kind of, brushing up on some of the history about it and everything, that people wanted him to carry letters across the Atlantic. He's like, nope. Yeah, it was he didn't want any unnecessary weight on the plane. He felt that was the only way he stood a chance to do it, was to not have anything unnecessary on the aircraft the entire flight. But they did say when they did a scan of the aircraft there at the Smithsonian, they found a pair of pliers which they think he used to help him open and close these valves. Probably as time went on, his hands were probably pretty cold, and so he had to have the pliers to help him open and close valves for the fuel. This thing was amazing about fuel. Look at that, we just now hit 76%. We're starting to go a little bit faster. I think we're finally stopping our climb. Looks like a freeway down there. The road is yeah, this looks like roads. That could be wrong. No, that looks like something else. I don't know. Turn into the right. Turn into the right. Let's see, we have been in the air now for 38 minutes. They said when he crossed over into Ireland that he was only a few miles off of where he expected to be. turn towards Paris, I think, from there. But I read him and his wife were absolutely amazing together. Uh, he taught her to fly actually, and they were instrumental in uh, uh, she helped him chart airways for Pan Am. And he's still got, I think, 3 or 4 of his kids are still alive. His grandkids are all, I think, still alive. Probably even maybe his great grandkids. He's got a daughter that's named after his wife, I believe. They both have the same first name, at least. I think they had Adam. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Like I didn't know what to expect. It's been it's been a bit of a challenge just trying to keep it going. It's really, it churns very easily. Like I think that I don't know, maybe there's just a small gust of wind that just since it's so light in theory that it just goes off course right away. So I couldn't imagine the amount of the mental fortitude to do this flight non-stop across the Atlantic and having to pay attention to your instruments and everything, keep adjusting the control, the flight stick especially, to try to keep you on some kind of a course must have just been really exhausting. Hey, Scruffy Tam, how are you? Nice to see you here. Welcome. Happy Thursday to you, good sir. Nice to see you. TTV the Pixel, thank you for the follow. Sorry, I just saw that up at the top there. Appreciate it. That was quite the Thursday morning here. This is what happens when I take a day off and everybody's like, "Oh, we missed you so much." That's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I just was not 100%. I would not have been very cheerful yesterday, I can assure you. So I'm just like, no, we can hold off. We can do it Saturday. So, thanks, Planet Neutral. Oh, you're welcome, Scruff. Happy to see you here. Didn't sleep very well. I thought my alarm went off, and I'm just like, no, I'm not there mentally to do it. So that's okay. I'd rather cancel it and save face than go in there and be like, rawr. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was like, well, I should probably just post over in your chat so that you knew I wasn't going to be streaming, but I'm just like, I think he'll get the hint after a while. He'll figure it out. But no, usually if you're not in my Discord, which is fine, you don't have to be. It's not a requirement. But yeah, on average, if it's at least an hour's gone by and I'm not streaming, chances are the stream's canceled. So. But that's why I created the Discord, so that people would know that if I canceled, that at least I tried to reach out to as many people as possible, so they're not like, where's he at? What's going on? So looks like we're finally kind of leveling off here, 9,100 feet-ish, 9,200. I think we're right at the limit possibly of the aircraft as far as altitude goes. Roughly 44 minutes in the air so far, so we still got quite a bit of ways to go. Yeah, I promised myself that if I wake up and I'm just like, no, I can't do it today, and I'm just not there mentally, I won't do it. I'd rather cancel the flight. There we go. There's the Discord. Thank you, Scruff. Yeah, I do post the schedule for the week. There's a special place for that. There's a place for, just in the general, I'll post like the rough flight plan for the flight. So like tomorrow's flight, later today, I'll post. I had ham and cheese and some chicken noodle soup for dinner last night. Just kind of like, I was hungry, but I wasn't like starving. So ham and cheese sandwiches and some chicken noodle soup was the order for the day. Looking forward to watching Scruff tonight over in Australia with Oz. Yeah, I didn't used to do that Planet Neutral. When I first started streaming, I'd just be like, no, I'm going to stream anyway. And then, it's like then those little mistakes start to happen, and it creates so much angst in the chat and everything that it gets ugly, and I don't really like myself very much when I get to that point. So I made a promise to myself that if I'm not 100% or even close to 100%, and I just do the stream. I can always reschedule it. It's not the end of the world. Yeah. So I've tried to be a much better streamer with that. But sometimes it's meant that I've had to kind of change the schedule around a bit. But now that I don't stream 7 days a week, I do have like some open days that if I have to change something, then I have the ability to do that. Side here, I think that must be a road. Looks like. Yeah, that's a freeway right there. Knowing Mr. Finicky Eater, he probably had, I'm gonna guess, either a meat pie or he had mashed pie, or he had a finger fish sandwich. Stew. Well, he said he's whatever his family's eating, he's like, nah, I can't be bothered. I'll tell you what, if you were my kid, no, if I make this, sit down and eat. That's how it was when I was a kid. Even if it was like when my mom made Brussels sprouts, which I'm not a fan of. I made them. All right, I'll eat one. Parents put food on the table. Have the decency to sit down and eat what they made. That's at least my feeling. Insult your mom. She spent all that time in the kitchen. Oh boy. Oh, God forbid if my grandmother made something. And no, I'm not. Ooh, you're talking about some serious trouble right there. Yeah, that's a likely excuse. I took one bite. I'm full. Yeah, nope. Oh yeah, if I insulted my grandmother like that, didn't eat what she made. Ooh, I just get the look and I'd be like, okay, oops, I'm sorry. I was full. The dog ate my homework. I had to walk uphill both ways in the snow. You gotta come up with something better than that, Joseph. You were full, but I bet you anything you're like, ooh, I want to go to the shop and get some crisps. You'd go to the shop and get some. You weren't full. You're not the first person. You're not the first person that's ever come up with those excuses, Joseph. Come on. When somebody's at the dinner table and they've only had a few bites and there's like I'm full, either you're really ill or you're just like there's other things I'd rather be doing and I don't want to sit at the table anymore. That's what you're basically telling me. I'm bored. I don't like this anymore. Mom, Joe's streaming right now. No, you're gonna sit at the table and finish dinner. Gee whiz! But it's Joe. I have to be there. You're gonna finish your peas and carrots. What? I'll have a few, but then I'm gonna go watch Joe. I swear. What, big meanie. Mom, Pulse is on God of War Ragnarok, and I want to watch him kill beasts and stuff. I'm trying to learn about Norse mythology, whatever that is. Yeah, I'm learning things. I don't know if it's Norse mythology or horse mythology. Maybe it's horse mythology. I don't know. uh. Yeah, I know. I know, Scruff, but Joseph would probably be like, I think it's horse. I don't know. It sounds like horse, but maybe it's Norse. I don't know. It was an interesting game, and I did start watching the show Vikings, which has a lot of Norse mythology in it. I started the first season. It's kind of like, I don't know. I've been trying to bounce between that and House MD. This is like the 5th or 6th time I've watched House from beginning to end. I think I'm in season 2 now. Yeah, exactly. Oh, there you go. That's it. Nice one, Scruff. I didn't pick up on that. I'm still waking up. That's okay. Good one. That's pretty good. One of on my bucket list of things to do. Oh, you're fine, Scruff. You're good. I want to go to the UK. I want to sit down and have dinner with Joseph and his family. Honestly, I just want to see how the dynamic there, what really happens. Could I come to dinner, Joseph? Would that be okay? Try one of these famous meat pies. Or your fish finger sandwiches. I just gotta see how this dinner. All right, 56 minutes in the air so far. Still lots of flying to go. Somebody's in the Vision jet there. Somebody's an A320. Batman's in the SAVG. I don't know what that is. That must be on the PC. Pretty good idea where we are. I think this. We're turning too much. Right, so this right here should be that. So I don't think we're quite. No, a little bit farther and we'll be halfway. Probably once we get somewhere out in here, we should be halfway there, roughly. Today's flight brought to you by Firefly Airlines. If you're going to fly, you might as well fly like a firefly. Don't like a firefly, sting like a wasp. Tomorrow's flight will be brought to you by Parasox Airlines. Parasox, just because you have a pair of socks does not mean match. Many people found out Saturday, last week, when they went to Scruffy's stream and they looked at his socks. They were shocked and amazed that they didn't match. I warned them. I said, "You'd be shocked and amazed." They didn't believe me until they went and looked for themselves. And that he actually shows you that they don't match. I wonder What kind of socks Kaharia's mom's gonna knit for you this year? What wonderful colors and stripes and fun stuff like that is Kaharia's mom make for you this time? That's awesome. I did read about the thing with the sock company over there in the UK that you were trying to get them to sponsor your streams, which I think that would be a fantastic thing, because if they do ship to America, why wouldn't they want to have somebody who would showcase some of their socks in America and say, hey, you can order these right now. Go to blah blah blah, and if you use discount code Scruffy, you can save 10% on your first order or something, like, like that's like super duper easy marketing right there. Like a lot of streamers have like deals. Oh, use this code and you get 15% off your first order. Yeah, that's business. That's money in the bank. Somebody's like, hey, I'll showcase your socks. So you just send me some, and I'll plug your company. Send me your most unusual stuff. Heck, they could have a Scruffy Tam line. There you go. They don't match. Ooh, there you go. Try to get a Scruffy Tam of socks going. They don't match, and if people are true Scruffy Tam supporters and they go to Flight Sim Expo, they should wear their Scruffy Tam socks. The Flight Sim Expo. Could you imagine if a vast majority of the community showed up wearing mismatched socks at Flight Sim Expo? That would be an amazing thing just about Flight Sim Expo itself. Boy, that would be great community news right there. See, just the things you think about when you're flying a slow plane like this. It gives you time to think. Yeah. That would be a lot of fun, like for the dinner party or whatever. Everybody shows up wearing mismatched socks to dinner. Everybody take a group picture with showing their socks that they don't match. That would be fantastic. That would be something to talk about for quite some time. And it would be so much fun. I'm still planning on being there. One way or another, I'm going to be there. That is the plan. I was trying to explain it to my buddy in Vegas the other day. They're doing what in Houston? I said, Flight Sim Expo. What's that? So all these people, they're streamers. There's people in the flight simming sort of community that they're developers and all kinds of stuff. Oh, okay. That would be a lot of fun. I can't wait. I can't wait to meet people in person. Finally. But I can't wait for that aviation museum there in Houston. That's gonna be fantastic, especially see what kind of cool stuff they got on display. Taking a boatload of pictures and that. Looks like we're running parallel to a freeway. I wonder if that's Route 66 right below us there. And off to the right. All right, now we're 5 in the air, so we should be about halfway there now, roughly. We have kind of finally leveled off here. So we'll be back tomorrow, 6:45 Eastern, 11:45 UTC/UK in the Twin Beach. We're going from airport there in Guyana, and we're heading to Suriname, I think is how it's pronounced. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. We're heading to the major city there in Suriname. It's the only one that has like a decent sized airport that I think can handle the Twin Beach. And Saturday we'll do yesterday's flight. Yesterday. Oh, for Flight Sim Expo, you mean? Oh, wait. You talking about for Flight Sim Expo? Oh, for the sock thing. Them to kind of get back in touch with you and say, yeah, we'll. I don't know why they would. It just doesn't make any sense. Like that's a fantastic way to advertise your product to people. You know. Okay. Take care, Scruff. Hopefully you have a good class. Hopefully they learn something. The alert mode. There goes teach some young folks automotive repair and maintenance. That's one thing I don't miss about the military is on Mondays we spent almost all day in the motor pool going over the vehicles. vehicles. Oh. Even back in the day, I was in Germany when it was, you had your annual services. So we had our 5-ton dump truck, that's what we rode in. And so we'd pull it into a maintenance bay. The mechanics would do a few things. They'd hand us a big can of grease. They'd say, take all those bearings and grease them all and put them back on. So we'd be in there all day from the beginning of the duty day. We were there until the truck got done with services. So whatever they needed to do, we did a lot of the small stuff, I guess you could say. You had to re-grease all the bearings, all that stuff. Yeah. But see, back then at least they gave you a pair of coveralls to put on. You were issued them, so you didn't get your regular uniform dirty. I tried to explain that when I went back in the second time, and they were talking about, I said, well, the annual services are due. Okay. Well, I got to be there with the vehicle. Why? Because there's stuff that the mechanics will do, and there's stuff that we should do to help them get the service done. It was like a foreign idea to them. I've never touched the vehicle on service. Well, that's how it's supposed to go. You can't rely on, otherwise the thing will never get done. It's a team effort. You're just trying to get out of stuff. Oh yeah, okay. Like I really want to take wheels off and pack bearings with grease and hit all the grease points with a grease gun. Yeah, that's my idea of excitement. We're responsible for that. Not the mechanics. Let's just have a quick look here on our VFR map, see how far off the line we are. Oh, not too far off. We're still heading the right direction. That's the important part. CA90 and 5 Charlie Alpha 4. Let's see if we can find that on our sky vector chart here. Oh boy. Uh-oh. We are going way off course there. Oof. I know we're more than halfway there to our destination. quite a few little private airstrips off to our port side. Eventually what we're looking for to kind of get a better idea where we are is 29 Palms, although we won't probably see the airport itself, but at least if we, well, maybe we might be able to see far enough to the left there to find 29 Palms. So if I look at that, jigsaw pattern. Okay, I know where we are roughly. So we should see that. Oh, I go into this thing and then it just goes way off to the right. It's absolutely incredible. Easily this thing goes off the beaten path here. Okay, so if we're there, it's that. All right. So yeah, I know roughly where we are now. So it looks like we are definitely on the last half of the flight here. All right, let me put that shot there. Hey, Mick, how are you? I'm sorry, Mick. Oh yeah, there you are. Okay. Sorry, I was just trying to kind of see where we were on this flight. How are you, good sir? Nice to see you here. As always. Sir Stetson OBE is in the house. Nice to see you. Missed you, my friend. Don't go getting all tender now, Joseph. Don't go getting all tender, Joseph. Warning. Hey, you don't have to say sorry for anything. It's all good. I completely understand. You don't have to apologize about anything. You're still my bro. This plane is fire, bro. Check it out. We're in the old Spirit of St. Louis here. We're halfway to San Bernardino. Yep, it is. Basically, so that's the oil container there, and then on the other side of the oil is fuel. It was designed purposely that way. This is essentially what they call the firewall. So that the feeling was with Charles Lindbergh was that if he crashed, he had a better chance of surviving with the oil tank just in front of him versus the fuel and all that. But yeah, I just figured I'd pick something a little bit different for the flight today. We haven't flown it before, So Joseph's all excited. He got to see a new plane. So just like a lot of these earlier planes, no flaps to help us slow down as we come in. Let's see what, I know this thing does not have like normal lights for navigating and all that. It does have these little bit of lights that I don't know that if he used them or not, but apparently there was instrument lights. He probably kept them on very low at night or turned them off completely so he could do celestial navigating. It's got this cool little periscope there. Look up front, kind of. But I'm not sure where on the front is the actual opening for the periscope. Goes turn. Look at that crazy turn to the right. Look at a crazy turn to the left. So we should see. Should see 29 Palms Airport out there somewhere. But yeah, that's what we're up to. So next Thursday we'll conclude the journey on for our Route 66 tour. We'll use the Jenny, the JN4, I think it is. Biplane. We tried flying it. We were going to try to do that where you take off from like New York and you went Pennsylvania. It was like an old airmail route, and it just didn't go very well. So, because we kept going off track, we missed our times, and it was just a hot mess that day. So we're gonna give that a shot. So it's a plane that Charles Lindbergh did fly before he did this flight, before he flew this plane across the Atlantic. So we'll have some fun with that next Thursday, and that'll conclude our Route 66 stuff. I will spend some time, maybe today, maybe Saturday, try to come up with some things for once we conclude the Route 66 stuff. Not that we've really talked about Route 66 in general, but yeah, I'm really happy to see you, bro. Ready to get back on the farm whenever you are. Although there is ocular proof. Joseph has put out his ocular update to the to his CV about his rather questionable driving when he was on the farm with Glenn about a week or so ago. Told myself out. Mick is going to be quite disappointed with your performance, Joseph. Yeah, that's fine. Whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready. I'm standing by to stand by. There you go. I've been looking, because I was like, I wouldn't mind doing a farm stream once in a blue moon, maybe. But I was looking for like a small map that would be easy for one person to manage, you know. And I get it, lots of, but I want to, just something I can do on my own that's not too overwhelming. And I haven't found one yet. Because I don't want anything like with animals, and, that's like something for like a multiplayer farm. But all right, let's see that we're off to the. It's gonna be coming up soon. But yeah, there's not many options when it comes to smaller maps. It seems. So I wonder what what Pulse is going to be doing tonight now that he finished God of War Ragnarok. I'm guessing he's streaming tonight. Because he said he'd be back today. This may be, So in other news, the field for the new World Endurance Championship, the new season, has pretty much been set, although there may be a few teams that join later in the season as they're still working on their car. I can't wait for Toyota to get beat. I'm sorry. I cannot wait for them to get soundly beat. I think it's going to be 2 seasons. This season and next season, they're going to get mad because they're not winning. They're gone. I give it 2 seasons. Then they'll fold up and they'll be like, it was fun while it lasted. They'll be gone in a short. Possibly, Cadillac may go F1 racing here in the near future. Michael Andretti's racing team is the possible team that will field that effort. But it seems like it's a done deal, but it may not be a done deal. But it does look like an interesting car. But as Paul said, Toto Wolff does not want any more teams on the grid, which I don't understand why that would be the case. The more competition, the better. Maybe he just doesn't want to get beat by a Cadillac. They already had a questionable season this year, but that wasn't quite what they were hoping for. But I think their time has come to an end. Mercedes is back to 3rd or 4th place or something. Their championship years are maybe just a bit behind them now, but who knows? But yeah, it does look like an interesting car. I know Audi is going to partner with Sauber when they return to F1. Old Sauber team will field the Audi effort, which I think will be interesting to see how that goes. I'm guessing it all makes sense because now with all these hypercars and other technology, that it's kind of falling in line with F1, so that they don't have to build multiple engines. They can just, it's interchangeable. These hybrid power plants, so to speak. Yeah, I think the more the better. Just although, then you have to wonder. Some of the tracks may not have enough pit facility for that many teams. So yeah, you just say, well, then either they'll have to find another place to race that could handle more cars on the grid, or you know. So it may change the calendar even. In the air so far for hour 30. So we still got a bit more to go. Probably at least another 30 or 40 minutes. I'm gonna guesstimate here. I think once we're on the other side of that hill, we're Yoka Deep, or the the other nameplates there. I think that's pretty much where we're heading right there. So that's a fun little plane to fly, although I'm not the what do you call it? It's a handful. You got to really, if you're going to follow like some sort of a compass heading, you really have to pay attention. Otherwise, this thing will easily get off the path. But yeah, I think it'd be nice to have a few more teams. The question though is it something that whoever fronts that team, that they can financially, that they're going to be okay for the first couple seasons? Because it seems to me that's one of the bigger issues, is the money. That they get these teams in, everybody's all excited, and either they make it one season and then they're gone, or they may make it half a season and then they're broke and they can't afford to pay anybody. They can't afford to buy. You know, they're already out of cash. So yeah, that's the only thing that I can think of would be an issue. Well, this thing is really good on fuel mileage. I may have overestimated my fuel. Matter of fact, you know what we could do? Let's take it down to about... Well, look at that, how different the aircraft acts. Oh boy, yeah, see, 32. Oh boy, that just shot us to the left there. Yep, that's what it was. It was all that fuel weight. We weren't burning it off enough, fast enough to... We don't want to climb anymore. Stop the climbing. Now we might be able to go a little bit faster. So yeah, this thing... So I guess the fuel is pretty much... It definitely handles differently if you have it really full of fuel. Hey, Ashev, how are you? Nice to see you here. Hopefully you're well. Yeah, you don't. If you're going to do a short flight, you don't really have to gas this thing all the way up. It is really a gas sipper, as you could say. Mentally exhausted. Well, he's just welcome to come in and hang out and just relax. All right, yeah, now we're definitely going a little bit faster, although we're losing a little bit of altitude here and there. On a nice steady decline. All right, let's just have a quick second week back at work has been nuts. Oh, let's have a look here. See if we can figure out where we are. See an airport to our right. I think I see this huge range coming up here. Huge. This area I do see on the sky vector charts. You know, it's amazing to think that a plane in the 1920s would have such fantastic fuel mileage. I mean, this thing has just been sipping the gas all along. Trying to find. Let's see, we're looking for Big Bear City. And it's right. There should be like a lake of some kind. So that kind of looks like water right there. Ooh, this way just a bit. Let's have a look at our map. Chart or chat. 2C88 KNXP. Okay, I know where we're at now. So we do have 29 Palms. To our left is out there somewhere. Maybe a little bit behind us. A little bit behind us should be 29 Palms. It looks like there's runway lights there. That could be 29 Palms way out there. Yeah. I think that's our, yeah, okay. So we're getting there. So our next one that we should see will be closer to us, which should be Big Bear City. Airport there. Should be closer to these. Should be somewhere up here in the distance, somewhere over here. But at least we picked up a little bit of speed, which should get us there a little bit quicker. We'll keep an eye out on those mountains if we have. Excuse me, if we have to climb over that, then we'll those mountains fill that little periscope. Matter of fact, we'll just leave that open. This is not going to affect the aerodynamics in chat. Sorry about that. Yeah, those mountains fill up that periscope, then we know which one. It's interesting that rich setting is 0 and lean is 10. You would think that the higher number would be rich and the lower number would be lean. I don't know if that's just how he designed it so it was easy for him to read. Let's see. Hour 43. So yeah, we still got. It's going to be at least a 2-hour, if not more. I mean, we've been streaming. We're almost at the 2-hour mark, so we're getting there. We're not in a hurry. It's quite all right. Just have a look here. What are we looking for? So we're looking for some water and an airport right next to it. Matter of fact, that might be it right there. I think that's our Big Bear City airport right there, or it should be the lake, and the airport should be like right. Should see it. think that's, yeah, that's definitely our. Yep, there's an airport. Looks like that's it right there. Well, the way they have it looking on the charts, it's much closer to the water, but that looks like an airport right there. Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's go here. Let's do this. See if you're near. Okay, nope, still coming up. All right. It's in front of us right there. L35 is what we're looking for. Yep. Okay, so we're not quite there yet, but we're getting there. So it looks like it's up in this, looks like maybe on the other side of this ridge here. It did look like it was up in the mountains. So we're getting there, folks. We're getting there. Once we have that, then pretty much we're almost home free into San Bernardino. So it's only one airstrip there, San Bernardino. It runs basically almost east-west. So we're looking for, there is another airport nearby, which is called Redlands Municipal. But we don't want that. We want, so we should see two airports almost next to one another. The larger of the two is what we're aiming to land at there in San Bernardino. Again, no radios, no way of knowing. But yeah, that's our plan. We're almost there, folks. Almost there. Matter of fact, probably where that TBM 9 maybe, that might be San Bernardino. This has gone pretty well, I think, overall. Not a bad flight. This plane is a little bit tough to figure out at first, but I think we got a better understanding of what to expect, and certainly with the fuel usage, we know that what to expect next time if we fly this again. This thing is quite the gas sipper. We'll conclude the stream once we we get to San Bernardino and land and park it somewhere. Find a parking spot. Call it a day. We greatly appreciate everybody here today. Thank you again to Scoobs for the raid earlier. Thank you to the new followers, Chuckley and TTVP Pixel for the follows. Alright, so just on the other side here we should see that the airport there, that Big Bear City. See, I think I see water, like a reservoir there. So it should be just on this side of where we are coming in. We should see that airport. So I think what I'm going to try to do real quick, folks, is things seem kind of steady right now. So I'm going to basically let the plane fly for just a bit. I'm going to step away for just a moment. I'll be right back. We'll wrap things up. I didn't want to say that because now Joseph's like, oh, I say the same thing. I'll be right back, folks. Alright, I'm back. Oof, boy, look at that. Really turned well off of our path there. Just, I was like, it was set the controller down. And alright, so our airport. Let's get over this little ridge here. This is. Should be just on the other side of that is where Big Bear should be. Might be over there too. This is going to be the tricky part here, I think, is just getting through all this. Without crashing. This is pretty high up in altitude. So let's just have a quick look here at the chart. Oh, we should be almost flying over L35 at this point. Okay. Let's see oh, that looks like it there. Looks like a runway right there. Yep. All right. Well, we're almost there, folks. Yep, there's the airport right there. That's a pretty good sized airport. Well, this is kind of pretty up here. Look at this. This looks nice. Nick, I might have found you another place for a stroopwafel stand. Get you a little house here on the lake. A little porch there to sit in your chair and just relax. Can't say I've ever been to this part of California before. We got to see something new today. I think what I'm going to try to do is just kind of curve through this, try to get through the lower parts here, and then we'll once we're on the other side, we should be able to see San Bernardino. San Bernardino is, somebody is in the air with us. Oh, weird. I did not be out there. Somebody's in the air with us. Cappy Stick is in the air, of course. Little Cappy Stick catching up there. Nice to see you, Cappy Stick. I just saw on the little map there that somebody was flying with us. And sure enough, there we go. Hey, you got a little bit of nice scenery this morning. Can't beat that. Oh, look, I can see somebody's name tape there in the periscope. That's awesome. All right, now let's just have a look here. Okay. Sticks in the PC6 Tango. Nice to see you here. Let's just have a quick look here. Once we're out of these, so it looks like our, just gotta make sure we don't hit this little mountain here. So there's something at the top. I don't know if it's somebody's house. Something's there. It's like almost like a helicopter landing pad or something. Interesting. All right, so. That's like the Bush PC6, I think, is the Bush Pilatus. I think we've flown that before. Wow, look at this scenery. Oh boy, look at that turn. Boy, the wind out of these mountains, even though I don't have the live weather on, is just really getting us all over the place here. All right, so looks like our turn comes 237 here. should have... I hear them. Look at that. Yeah, we did pretty good. Alright, so we should see 2 airports. Let's have a quick look here. Wow, look at that. Now it just, so we should be almost in line with San Bernardino. It should be pretty much right in front of us. So what we may do, we may just identify our airport, fly around, then line up and land it. Should be right there, kind of in front of us. I think this looks like an airport right there. Ooh boy, that wind out of that hill just... Ooh boy, some major crosswind coming out of those mountains there. Whew. Somewhere. That's it right there. Yep. Okay. All right, so basically what we're going to do, folks, we're going to we got to drop a lot of altitude here. And we're going to circle back around, but I'm pretty sure that is our airport there. Let me just look at the, yep, that is our, so we're going to land on this runway right here. That's our spot there. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to keep dropping some altitude. Let me get back to the chat here. Oops. That's here. Okay. So timer just disappeared on 209. So yeah, we didn't do too bad. So so I think what we're going to do, we're just going to fly past the airport, and then we're going to circle around, and we're going to use this freeway system here, and this way that the color of the ground here to kind of help us find our airport again, and line up there on the runway. So yeah, definitely got to lose a lot of altitude here. And so we're going to throttle back here a bit. Hopefully just kind of keep dropping some altitude. Stop the we were basically here. Now the tricky part is going to be getting this thing on the ground and hopefully stopping it, but then taxiing. We're probably going to park try to park somewhere over in there. Right, folks, let me let me focus on getting this on the ground. I'll catch up with the chat once we're hopefully on the ground, nice and easy, kind of, sort of, hopefully. Plenty of runway, so if we have to kind of hover, bleed off some speed, we'll do that. We're going to try to come in nice and low. Even though, so this is kind of like a entry area there. Or, you know, it's got the runway lights maybe at that end. We'll try to come in nice and low and get over the runway and start bleeding off the speed try to make it as quickly as we can without stalling the plane, of course. That's going to be the tricky part. That. This is going to be really tricky to land since we don't have a window. I don't really trust that little periscope window either. So it's going to be... This is going to be a challenge for sure. The sun's getting on that water there, it looks like. probably will not get, since we don't have radios and permission to land, it's probably not going to count for a landing. It probably certainly didn't count for a takeoff. I'd be surprised if it counts for a landing. Some kind of a plan I could come up with that will so we're just gonna have to try to line it up as best we can and go for it. Too much more altitude. Slow the drop down a little bit. I think we're in a good place altitude wise to help get us on the ground. Gain altitude either. Just want to slow down the descent. Happy Stick's going to go ahead and get on the ground. Like maybe just kind of getting an idea of the layout. Happy Stick's going for it, looks like. Happy Stick is there on the ground. Nice landing there. Good wide, lazy left-hander here. We're looking to come in over this way. Looks like there's still some farmland here in San Bernardino. Not sure what they grow here. Maybe grapes for wine? I don't know. Let's open that back up, just in case if we do need to use it to help us. Line up here. I said, I don't know that it's a... this is going to be Oh, Mick, thank you for the, yeah, thank you for the resub, appreciate it. It was the original founding member of the Uncle B Sim channel. It was the first subscriber. Thank you, Mick, for your continued support, good sir. Yeah, 8 months. Can't believe it. Okay. So, we still got a little bit to do here. Still got a bit more of a lazy left-hander. Try to give us as much room as possible to get lined up. Oh, it's hard. Okay, I can see the taxiways. Oh, Cappy Stick's trying to point where the runway is. Well, it's easy to get, as you get closer, it all kind of blends in together. Look how easily it's easy to kind of lose it. See, look at how quickly the airport, the runway is just kind of like it's all melded together. Hold on a second, I got it. Hello, Big 40. Sorry, I'm trying to get it. Thanks for the follow, Adam. I got to look at the final approach here. What our expected heading is. I'll on it. I think I kind of see it. 238. Okay. All right, let me get back to the chat. Let me get this on the ground and I'll catch up in the chat. Sorry. Because I don't have, there's no radios, there's nothing. I can't. 238. Oh, wow, we are way high. So the pattern just finally showed up. We turned. This is going to be it. I might have to go around. Yeah, let me just go around. I can't. Yeah, I'm not. Okay. Well, you know what? No, we'll make it. We'll make it. We're gonna make it. One way or another, we're gonna make it. We're definitely over the runway now. Oh yeah. Oh, 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 no! Yep, we just fell right out of the sky. Wow, it just totally nosed over. Oh well. Dang! Yeah, it just totally nosed over. Tappy stick, come and push me back straight, upright. I don't know. You'll probably just go right through my plane though. Yeah, that's all right. Oh well. I think we'll call it good there. Oh well. Hey, we made it in some way, shape, or form. That's my first time trying to land this thing. We came in way too hot, and I was trying to throttle back, but glide over, but it just went right over into the ground. So unfortunately, anyway, we're just gonna end it right there. Thank you all once again for coming in and hanging out. Thank you, Captain Stick, for flying with me today. Matter of fact, let me do my hours here real quick on for on I don't know if the Ryan is part of the I'm just gonna put wonder if it's nope, doesn't look like it's under the S. Oh well, I'm just gonna put that. And we took off from KI, and that was at oh, let me KSBD. Oh, let's see here. 11:55, and we landed at 14:24. Oops. Submit. All right, so there's that. So there we go. 2 hours and 28 minutes. Not too shabby. It said an hour 50 something, but I didn't think we were gonna actually get to get there in that period of time. But oh, it did give us credit for a takeoff and a landing. So there we go. Since we did kind of crash into the field, it did give us credit for landing, so I'll take it. But anyway, yeah, so that will do it for today. I do greatly appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out. Hopefully you've enjoyed the flight. Very scenic, surprisingly. Well, not surprisingly. Very nice scenery along the way, and all that. So let me get this. Come on. I gotta get the there we go. Download the photo. And get that over on Discord. And we'll wrap things up here. So yeah, a bit of a learning lesson, that's for sure. That is for sure. So, good stuff. All right. So yeah, it wasn't too bad. I'm pretty happy. Just one of those planes that you got to get practice in. It's very hard to line up. My goodness. Yeah, that was a bit of a challenge. Not having any kind of not being able to look out and have a reference for landing was a challenge. But yeah, we did okay. So we'll be next Thursday. I'll show you guys what we'll fly in next Thursday. We'll be in the, to conclude things, we're going to be in the, where did it go? Maybe it's back up this way. Right. Nope, not that one. I know I have it. Curtis, there we go. This one. So we'll conclude our flying in this plane on Thursday. Our next leg will be in the there we go. It's even way more basic than the Ryan. So that's what we're going to fly in on Thursday. You're welcome, Joseph. You're welcome. Glad you were entertained. Glad you got to see a new plane. And all that, this, that, and the other, and the third, and the fourth, and the fifth, and the sixth, and yada, yada, yada. I'm kidding, of course. So yeah, that's what we'll do next Thursday. We'll conclude our Route 66 stuff in this plane. We'll see if we can land this one at least. So anyway, do enjoy the rest of your Thursday morning, afternoon, evening, early Friday, depending on where you are in the world. I have been and always shall be your host and pilot, Uncle B. Until tomorrow in the Twin Beach. Peace, live long and prosper.